Hello, welcome to episode 9 of the I Know About Sports podcast. Going to be a little bit of a quicker episode this week as I'm recording this very late, October 29th, 2024, Tuesday night, 1 week away from the election. I'm not going to discuss any of my political beliefs on this, or at least on this episode. Maybe not. But I don't think I will. But just talk about recapping what's been going on in my life and related to sports, and talk about what's been going on in college football, give my thoughts on the week 9 that just wrapped up, give my thoughts on XWW, which just wrapped up. Well, on Friday wrapped up with Halloween Massacre, and then talk about me calling the Gamecocks women exhibition against Clayton State last night. So yeah, we're going to start with XWW. Friday night, we have a brand new owner. Insane surrogate man turned out to be chaos. First match he's had in 17 years, and he won a crazy-ass TLC match against Manny Mac. Now, former owner, the man who brought me into XWW, accepted me with open arms, Mr. Manny Mac. He went through multiple doors. He got speared from 15 feet in the air. Got slammed on concrete multiple times. Mr. Mac, I don't know how much smack I could talk about this man. He brought me into this company. He brought me into the wrestling business. But, some say was not a great man. He yelled at people for not having Gucci shoes. He cheated multiple people out of championships. He corrupted the somehow uncorruptible Quest. And him and Money Enterprise tortured this company for so long. And I know Money Enterprise isn't going to go away. I know they're not. But, my God, it's a new day in Extreme Rules Wrestling. Insane will be the new owner. And that will be a great way to start off 2025. We have 2 more shows left with, I think we have a deathmatch tournament coming up, I think. And we know for a fact we have a Winter Bash coming up in December. So it should be a great one. The actual show that happened, of course, we had that main event, which was awesome. You can watch that on ExtremeTVOnline.com. $5.99 a month, first 5 days free. We had a great way to start the show. One of the rivalries of the summer between 2 rookies in XWW. Bash Caliban retained his hardcore title against DJ Springs, the 18-year-old prodigy. I like both of these guys. Obviously, Bash, a little crazy. He likes to talk to himself sometimes. He rocked his belt on a swing. Don't know if I would do that, but to each their own. DJ Springs, loved the guy to death. He's going to be a future star. It's always Bash, by the way, but I love DJ a lot. Yeah, DJ missed a 450 through a door to lose this match. It was a brawl all over the freaking place. DJ Springs did a crossbody off the bar of the brewery we were in. Just wild throughout the night. Go ahead and start the show. Luke Fury finally got his comeuppance. Got hit with them brass knucks by AJ Myers. He's been torturing the King of Lightning AJ Myers all summer. And now heading into the fall. Cost him his championship. And now the King of Lightning, Mr. AJ Myers, finally gets that win over Luke Fury, putting him through the door. There was a lot of doors broken on this show. Like a Kool-Aid man I walked through. It was crazy. But yeah, so they brought out throughout the last man standing match. Luke Fury could not stand back up by the count of 10. So yeah, rough night for Money Enterprise. JP Lehman did retain over Angel Angels, though, to retain the ITV championship. But overall, yeah, between Luke losing and Manny Mac losing, pretty rough night for Money Enterprise, all things considered. Quest is still world champion. He got a surprise roll up on Lodi, get that win. It was a veteran matchup. These 2 guys knew the ins and outs of the ring, and Quest just got a quick one on Lodi. Just hard to see. Good thing though, Quest he tried to get involved in the main event, tried to cost Chaos the match, tried to steal XWW and give it back to Manny Mac, but Insane came out and prevented that from happening. So it's going to be interesting to see now Quest, he sold his soul to the devil, and now the devil doesn't have any power. What happens there now with Quest? Obviously, I think JP Lehman will be fine. He has enough damn money. He'll be fine. Quest, not sure about. Well, he has money, but he doesn't have JP Lehman money, and he has everybody targeting him. He's going to be the most hated man in the company now. So it's going to be weird to see everybody trying to gun for Quest now. He has now essentially no backup, no guy to help him out now. You know, he did all this. He betrayed his back. He betrayed 20 years of goodwill, and it's been thrown away. Elliott Shock got the win over Thomas Extreme. Elliott Shock was so dominant, he has no challengers anymore for that U.S. title. And hell, I thought about stepping in myself, taking out this man, Elliott Shock. He's been annoying me since day one. Can't believe this, man. First time on commentary, he immediately said, I don't know nothing because I'm not a wrestler. Screw you. Screw you, Elliott. I have to be like insane. Listen, I have 2 bad knees, okay? I have 2 bad knees in a college degree. I can't risk it. I can't risk it, man. So I have to get a surrogate like insane to help me win a match. So if you're listening and you're a wrestler that can make it to Charlotte, North Carolina, can you please be my surrogate wrestler? So that way Elliott Shock can finally shut up. I pay pretty well. I'll pay you in a Wendy's 4 for $4. I may even let you get a biggie bag, okay? I'll pay you in a Wendy's biggie bag if you can get to Charlotte, North Carolina and take down Elliott Shock to win the XWW US title. Okay? You can keep it too. You keep the belt. I don't care about winning the belt myself. I just want to see him lose. Like that one scene, what was that, Star Wars? I don't care if I win. I just want to see him lose. Yeah, that's all I want to do. Tag match, first time I've ever seen the top Shotters have a match. And holy crap, I'm a big fan of theirs. In one night. I've never even heard of them before the night. And wow, they were fantastic. From the entrance, coming out, hyped up, Red Rum by 21 Savage, blasting throughout the bar. And, man. Their in-ring work was phenomenal. They have a huge future in this business. 2 young guys who are fantastic together. Fantastic act. Fantastic. They just have everything. But yeah, another great night for Extreme World Wrestling. Moving on to another good night. Last night, Colonial Life Arena, I was courtside, got to sit press row and call a basketball game featuring the national champions. The Gamecocks took on the Clayton State Lakers in a exhibition. Clayton State coming from the D2 ranks, Peach Belt Conference. So this has been a bit of an exhibition, both these teams. Clayton State didn't have a great year last year, brought in 11 new players, trying to revamp this previously D2 powerhouse. But, I mean, obviously, everybody knew the result. Carolina was going to easily steamroll over Clayton State. This game doesn't matter. It was 126-82, but this won't go on the final tally, if you will. This isn't going to go on anybody's records. But, yeah, Carolina, the thing is with them against even a D2 school like Clayton State only had 2 players 6 foot or taller. They had a 6 foot exact player, and then they had a 6'2" player, the tallest player. Carolina's only has 2 players that are under 6 foot tall. So, yeah, that's how this game went. They just bullied them. It was just a bully ball. And I pointed out with Abianati, who I was broadcasting with, a star volleyball player for the Gamecocks. I pointed out I was doing color commentary second quarter, and Carolina ran a lineup featuring 6 foot tall Bree Hall, 6'1" Tessa Johnson, and then they put in the star freshman, 6'3" Joyce Edwards. They put in 6'4" starting center Sanaya Fagan, and they subbed in 6'5" that he'll attack. So they have all these tall-ass players. Meanwhile, Clayton State had that lineup they were running at the same time against them. Tallest player was 5'8". Yeah, it was a dominant stretch when that happened. And talk about the bigs for Carolina. It's going to be the theme of the season this year. It's going to be those bigs. Cardoso in the draft, Ashlyn Watkins. At the bare minimum, I can't see her playing this year. I don't know if she'll ever be back on the Gamecocks. She's dealing with her legal issues, that domestic violence. suit. That's a suit. It's a charge. So I don't know if she'll be back ever, but so it's going to be a lot of centers stepping up. Snyder Fagan got to start both the exhibitions they played. She's looked great. She's a good rim running, screen setting, versatile defender at the bigs. Not a dominant player by any means, but she fits in very well for what they want to try and look for. Off the bench, at Hill Tack, missed her senior season of high school, missed her freshman year of college with the injury, and now she's finally playing again. She looked great. She looked dominant down low. She is so strong, so tall, very smart on defense as well. And, Coach Staley said she's going to be the next Aaliyah Boston. Not going to question Coach Staley or at Hill Tack's potential or anything, but holy crap, that's a lot of pressure to put on a young player like that. But I don't think Coach Staley would say that if she didn't believe what she was saying. So I'll take Coach's word for it that she will be the next Aaliyah Boston. Just don't expect it to be like her first year here because she hasn't played basketball in 2 years. So kind of, if you're watching Gamecocks, expect Tack to come in a little slower, trying to get acclimated back to playing basketball again, trying to get conditioning right. But I think maybe by next year, in 2 years especially, she'll be in full swing and she'll be a dominant player for South Carolina. Other big spots, Takima Walker didn't play, and Joyce Edwards looked phenomenal, the true freshman. Don't know if she would be the center necessarily. She would be a starting center. She'd be a really good 4 or even down the small forward. But, yeah, in about at least by next year, she'll be the best player in the country. And whenever she's eligible for the draft, if she's a true freshman now, she'll be the first pick. She'll be the first player off the board, easy. Yeah, she's everything that she's hyped up to be and more, in my opinion. Joyce Edwards is going to be a superstar in collegiate basketball. Speaking of superstars, Malaysia Wiley. She was an up-and-down three-point shooter last year. She was a catalyst off the bench in the national championship game against Iowa. And she was nailing threes against the Lakers. She had no problem. Had all the confidence in the world, was just firing away from downtown. And Wiley was on a roll. And if Wiley can get a consistent jump shot, maybe around 39, 40%, damn, she may be the best freaking player in the country. Huge Wiley fan. She is one of the most athletic players in the country. And if she can play in this kind of a team setting, Coach Khadijah Sessions said she also trying to work on her defense and finishing around the basket. But shit, if she can become a good three-point shooter, oh man, it's like her getting a three-point shot is like if Russell Westbrook got a three-point shot. It's like that. That is her potential. In his prime, obviously Russell Westbrook in his prime, not Russell Westbrook nowadays, but in his prime, yeah, that Wiley can be that at the women's game. So yeah, that's why the story this year and the notes I had for the women's basketball preview is just who can stop Carolina. Last year it was, we're going to see Caitlin in Iowa versus Angel Reese in LSU. And it turned out the real story last year was Carolina, when nobody expected them to, had one of the most dominant seasons of college basketball we've ever seen. Now they returned all but 2 players from that team, seemingly got better. And now the story is, can anybody even compete with South Carolina? Now they play a lot of teams, a lot of ranked opponents. They play 5 of the top 10. They play 3 of the top 4. They play, let's go to the top 5 real quick. They play UConn, number 2 in the country, again this season in Colonial Life Arena. Last year when they played, Carolina dominated from the get-go. Paige Beckers, I was right there courtside in the student section, or damn near courtside, watching Paige Beckers warm up, and she didn't look like she was prepared at all. She was flustered out the gate, which is really strange to say because Paige Beckers is always on her A game, especially mentally. She was not there. And I think she'll come back with a vengeance to Columbia and Colonial Life Arena this season. Carolina also plays preseason number 4, Texas twice. The Longhorns in their first season in the SEC. They have Madison Beer coming into her sophomore year now. She's going to be fantastic. And Carolina may have an issue with her as well. They play Texas both in Austin and back home in Columbia. And then with number 5 team, they play UCLA very early in the year on the road. UCLA is number 5 in the country, so we'll see how that goes. Carolina also has a game against number 7 LSU. That's going to be obviously a hyped-up matchup. Don't know if LSU will be the same team they were last year, but they still have Johnson. They still have last year Poa. So we'll see how they retool that roster now, losing Haley Van Lith and, of course, Angel Reese. They play number 10 Oklahoma, another new addition to the SEC. A team I think is a sleeper pick for the title. They're already a really good team, the Sooners. Now they bring in Reagan Beers. That was the biggest transfer anybody got in the offseason at Oregon State. I think she's going to be the women's version of what Cam Ward's currently doing at quarterback for Miami. I think she was at Oregon State, much like Cam Ward was at Washington State. Those two teams were the casualties of the Pac-12 dissolving before they Pac-12 temporarily going out of existence, temporarily. So they were kind of refugee transfers. They landed at these big-name universities, and like Cam Ward's competing for the Heisman. He may be the front runner for the Heisman Trophy. I think Reagan Beers will be the best player in the country for this upcoming year. I think she will win the Naismith Award. She will be the best player in the country. And Carolina had issues with her in the Elite Eight last year, which she was at Oregon State. Now she's with an improved team. Another year to develop, another year to get better, another year to go up against the Gamecocks, who are, obviously not going to have Cardoso guarding her. They're not going to have Ashlyn Watkins guarding her. So they have a little bit easier time dominating the Gamecocks. And that's why I think of teams that can, knock the Gamecocks off that pedestal. The 3 teams I'm picking is Oklahoma. I think that's a sleeper team, the Sooners. That's the team I think is, if you want to pick a sleeper team to win it all, I'm picking the Oklahoma Sooners. UConn, obviously, they're so freaking talented. They have Paige Beckers. They have Ozzie Fudd. They got Coach Gino. And, of course, they bring in Sarah Strong, who much like Joyce Edwards, who are now going to Carolina, 2 of the most hyped-up women's prospects we've ever seen in basketball. And I think those 2 for years to come are going to be battling it out. It's going to be one of the great rivalries for the next few years in college basketball. Joyce Edwards for Carolina, Sarah Strong for UConn. And the last team, speaking of star players, Juju Watkins and the currently 3rd-ranked USC Trojans. I don't think USC has a lot of depth. Outside of Watkins, it's kind of just a one-woman show. But, damn, that one woman is really good. If it wasn't for Caitlin Clark putting on maybe the best season we've ever seen in the women's game, simply put, Juju Watkins would have been the best player in the country as a freshman. She was 18, 19, fresh out of high school, dominating college basketball. And there's no reason she isn't going to get better. She is going to be sensational, and I think Carolina could have issues with that. Obviously, every team's going to have issues with that. And you go back to Caitlin Clark when she took down the Gamecocks a couple years ago in that Final Four. Maybe Juju could kind of do a similar thing. So we'll see this upcoming year. Moving on to College Football Week 9 recap. Not a lot of major movements. There was not a ton of big upsets happen. The only ranked teams to lose were both underdogs playing other ranked teams, both of those on the road. Number 8 LSU fell apart in the second half at Texas A&M. The Aggies put in their backup Marcel Reed midway through the third quarter, and they decided to just run the ball down the Tigers' throats, and they did it spectacularly, knocking off LSU. Number 21 Mizzou went on the road and got body bagged by Alabama, 34-0. The 15th ranked Tide proved on Mizzou should not be ranked. They're a bad football team that's been inflated by playing bad opponents, and the 2 good teams they've played, A&M and Bama, they've lost by a combined score of 75-10. Missouri is not good. I'm going to get closer to the mic. Missouri stinks. It'll be a cold day in hell before I recognize Missouri. All right. Other things that happened, Ohio State barely beat Nebraska at home, and Penn State got a hard-fought road victory at Wisconsin, who I thought they were going to lose to. So, big congrats to Penn State. Sets up a big number 3 versus number 4 matchup that we'll get into on Thursday. So, yeah, playoff eliminator. Go start with the G5 eliminator, which we saw one of the biggest upsets in college football history on the CBS Sports Network and Conference USA on a random-ass Wednesday night. Well-respected institution, Liberty University. They love all the people. They love all people from all walks of life. No matter what skin color or religion you are or nationality you are, Liberty University is going to treat you with open arms. And they went on the road. They have not lost a regular season game in over 2 years. And they lost to a Kennesaw State team that's in their first season at the FBS level, and they're 0-6. And they beat the top dogs in their conference. That's a movie scene. Their coach has been with the program. He's literally the only coach in the football program's existence. They didn't have a football team until I think 2018, 2017, I want to say. And he's been the coach ever since. And he now has led this team from birth until now, getting their first FBS win. Just an awesome story. And the fans that stormed the field, just a tremendous. That's a Disney movie right there. They're 4-touchdown underdogs at home too, and they got that big win with the whole country watching. Navy entered the week unbeaten, and they lost the ball 7 times. They had 7 turnovers and got freaking killed by Notre Dame. That's the worst showing the Navy has looked since Pearl Harbor. It is just egregious out there how bad Navy looked. They looked discombobulated and flustered. And the only place in the world you're going to see a military that flustered, that uncoordinated, that discombobulated is the Russian army. You can't lose by that much and make the playoffs, especially the G5 team. So, Navy, they're out. Even if they win the conference, they're out. They lost by 40. UNLV lost a close one at home to Boise State, where they held Ashton Jeanty to only 138 rushing yards. 138 rushing yards is considered a off day for Jeanty, and still wasn't enough for the Rebels. They lost their second big game of the year. Both those were at home. They're more than likely out, but they managed to have 2 close losses to good quality opponents. So they're more than likely out, but not officially eliminated, but they're pretty much officially eliminated. Another team that is officially eliminated, though, North Texas. They lost a shootout at home to Tulane. That eliminates the Mean Green, as they don't even have a path to win their own conference anymore, that means, they can't make the playoffs. You can't win your conference as a G5 team. So, sorry, North Texas, but you are out. Look at the AAC. That was a crazy game. If y'all managed to watch Memphis and Charlotte play at the Liberty Dome, wild day, and Memphis survived against the 49ers. They were almost eliminated from the playoffs. But yeah, I'm looking at now ESPN teams that probably eliminated. Syracuse lost 41-13 at Pitt, where I thought Syracuse was going to win. And like I said, their quarterback McCord threw, I think, 3 pick sixes, 4 interceptions total or something like that. Yeah, you can't have that. And, yeah, so Syracuse is out. Going through, Illinois lost by 30 points to Oregon. I know Oregon's the number 1 team in the country, but you can't lose by 30 to make the playoffs. Especially because you can't win your conference, because Illinois is not going to win their conference, so they're out. Scrolling through, Vanderbilt's crazy they made it this far, but they are out now with 3 losses. I think 2 in the SEC. They're not going to win the conference, so they're also not going to be in as well. Scrolling through. Teams that have just been eliminated, just purely, done. Duke lost the best game all weekend was in Durham, North Carolina. Duke and SMU. Duke went for a 2-point conversion at the very end to try and win the game in overtime, and they couldn't get it. 28-27, SMU wins again. And they're not looking like they control their own destiny to make the playoffs and win the Atlantic Coast Conference in their first year in the conference. So Duke is now not really officially eliminated, but yeah, they're done. They are done. So yeah, great game. I'm understating how crazy of a game this was. There was a ton of block kicks. I think SMU had like 6 turnovers, and they still won. Just incredible. Absolutely incredible. And yeah, looking through, that's the only eliminators so far this week. Next week is going to feature, in my opinion, a lot of elimination games. There's going to be a lot more bigger games, bigger matchups this upcoming week. And we'll get to that on Thursday night. I managed to get to this episode without making any politically offensive jokes. I managed to get through this episode in under 30 minutes. Wow. But yeah, just a reminder, tomorrow on Wednesday, I'll be calling the men's exhibition. Gamecock men take on Worcester State, D3 school, Lamont Paris's alma mater in Ohio. Should be a good one. Excited to see what this new look Carolina team looks like. Third year in the Lamont Paris. They have a lot of new pieces. Gonna want to see what they look like. And yeah, also this week, I don't know when I get the ticket, but I will be heading to Williams-Brice Stadium as the Gamecocks host the 10th ranked A&M Aggies. That's gonna be the biggest game outside of Happy Valley, Pennsylvania. That's the biggest game that's going to happen all week. So excited for that one. And I think Carolina might win this. Pull off that upset against A&M. We're going to see. I've never been able to storm the field before at Carolina. I was not on the university for Tennessee. I was still at Midlands Tech, so I didn't get to do it when they beat Tennessee. I was ill last year when they played Kentucky in basketball, so I couldn't storm the court because I was just at home sick. And it broke my heart because I wanted to storm the court. I hate Kentucky. Hated Coach Cal. Can't believe he's at Arkansas now. So, yeah, that should be fun. The only issue is with A&M, going to the A&M game is I'm going to miss the Clemson game because it starts at the same time. So, that's unfortunate. But, hey, got to do what you got to do. You can't pick and choose, I guess. So, yeah, thank you for that. I've uploaded a couple more clips. I'm going to just start upload a lot more clips here from my broadcast. So yeah, thank you all and see you.